Hey everyone, Jacob here with Books and Bourbon. And per the usual, I'm here to talk to you about a bourbon and a book. So the bourbon that we're going to be talking about is Buffalo Trace, the signature product of the Buffalo Trace Distillery. And the book that we're going to talk about is Stephen King's Skeleton Crew. And I've already got some Buffalo Trace poured out here. And so while that's resting, let's talk about Skeleton Crew. This book by Stephen King is been around for a really long time. My mother-in-law has a very old copy of it, and it's just been sort of sitting on her bookshelf since probably the 80s when it came out. Really influential. There's a lot of really good and powerful short stories in here. The Mist is probably the most popular and well-known one. It's about 150 pages, so probably more of a novella. But what I love about Skeleton Crew is the diversity of the stories. You see Stephen King taking some creative risks here and there, and there's some really cool ideas that he's able to play with. Of course, Stephen King, master storyteller. And what I also love about it is it's a thick book, like you'd expect from Stephen King, but there's a lot of stories in here. If you haven't read this, I really highly recommend it. The short story, The Jaunt, is particularly terrifying. The Mist. I mean, even if you just pick this up and read the first 150 pages, which is The Mist, I mean, very well worth it. But if you can get through the rest of them, there's a lot of hidden gems in here. And then Buffalo Trace. If you know anything about whiskey or if you've been around the bourbon world at all, you're going to be very familiar with Buffalo Trace. This is their flagship product. But Buffalo Trace also makes Blanton's. They make Stag, George T. Stag, Weller, the Pappy line. And it's probably the most sought after distillery in terms of the bourbons that they make and put out on the market. And apparently Buffalo Trace, the signature Buffalo Trace, can be very hard to find and it can be expensive. But really available in my area. I live in the Pacific Northwest, and I actually bought this liter bottle at an Oregon liquor store, and it was $29. The 750 ml bottle was $28. So of course I picked up the liter bottle for just $1 more. And when you're at the liquor stores, I've seen this many times where the liter bottle is sometimes just $1 or $2 more. And I've actually seen it where the liter bottle is actually the same price as the 750 ml bottle. So for my perspective, yeah, grab the liter. So I must say that this isn't like my favorite of the kind of $20 to $30 range bottles of whiskey. I've had it multiple times, but I'm going to give it a really good shot here. So yeah, smelling. Yeah, I get a lot of fruit up front, maybe some dark fruit. I also get some of the wood. But there's not like a terribly lot going on here in terms of the aroma. Yeah, it actually tastes quite good. I feel like as I'm beginning my whiskey journey, every single time I taste even the same product, I get different flavors. So as well as a lot of the same ones, but I'm sort of rediscovering these bourbons and whiskeys every time I try them. And that fruit forward, kind of berry forward smell that I got really came out when I tasted it, which was really interesting. I also got some really nice kind of sweetness and caramel notes in there. The one thing that I will say about Buffalo Trace, which has been consistent every time I've tried it, is it doesn't last long. Like you get a nice taste on it and then it just kind of goes away. Compare that to like an Elijah Craig small batch, and I feel like the finish on that, which is about the same price, it just lasts way longer. You get all those same sweet notes, but then you get some of that rye spice as well. So for me, something like an Elijah Craig small batch, or if you want to spend $10 more and get like a Russell's Reserve 10-year, it's just way more complex, a lot more going on. But having said that, I mean, this tastes really good, and I could totally see myself enjoying this and just sipping on it. I'm not here to bash on Buffalo Trace at all. I mean, for me, it's not one of my favorites, but it's really good, and that was a really nice taste. So if you see Buffalo Trace in that MSRP $25 to $30 range, and certainly if you can get a liter bottle for $29, go for it. Thanks. Bye.